Hello everyone and welcome to DiviArts studio. Today we'll be creating a realistic giraffe watercolor painting. If you want to know the secret to making the look realistic, then stick till the end. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Okay, so grab your paints and let's get started. I have sketched the giraffe's outline with a pencil, making sure to get the proportions right. Next I will mix some paint, brown, with some yellow ochre and a little bit of red I have taken already in my paint, testing it quickly and then starting with the base wash. I will quickly cover the whole body of the giraffe. I have taken more water and less pigment so that the base layer is very light. I don't want it to be a very dark because to give the realistic look, this is what the secret is. You need to work in layers. I'm painting a little bit of background of blue color. Again, I'm taking more of water and very less paint, just dabbing it a little bit to give a little of shade. As I always test my colors before painting, here I'm taking a little bit of darker brown, adding more pigment, more brown and mixing it with the yellow ochre and red. Now carefully I will fill these little patches in the giraffe's neck. You need to keep in mind that just take care of the outlines and paint inside the patches so that the paint doesn't bleed outside. Now just adding a little bit of darker tone while the base is wet using wet on wet watercolor technique. When painting, it's important to consider the direction and intensity of the light source in order to accurately depict the areas that are illuminated versus those that are shadowed. By doing so, you can apply lighter paint to the areas that receive more light and darker paint to areas that receive less light. As I'm painting on my base dried layer, I'm just putting the paint over it and lifting extra amount of paint, just giving a light effect of darker tone and leaving the other area as it is. Now adding a little bit of brown, just dabbing it and spreading it all over. While painting these layers, whenever you feel you have extra paint, you can just lift it up using a paper towel. I'm using the paint which is wet already in my patches and just spreading it using my brush. Now continuing with the same process and keep filling the patches of the body. I'm using angle shader brush from Princeton to blend my colors. I have listed all my supplies in the description if you would like to know more. Next I will start painting the nose. I'm taking a little bit of orange mixed with the brown and yellow ochre. Just blending them together and spreading it all over. While painting, just move your brush along the edges carefully and keep filling the color, the lighter and then the darker tone wherever needed. The nose area of the giraffe is little fuzzy, so to make it realistic, I'm focusing on minute details like the hair around the nose. I'm using a pen cap to make a texture and have fun. Next, I will be keep adding more layers to my painting. While painting the horns of giraffe with watercolor, I am again using the pen cap to make some texture. You can experiment with unique tools like this and have fun while painting. Now I will quickly fill the rest of the area of the face of the giraffe using the light and dark tone of brown color. Adding a drops of brown color while keeping the base wet so you can get that smudge effect when you put the another color layer on top of the wet layer base. Now moving on to the eyes, I am using indigo blue to give that darker shade in the eyes and just simply spreading the color to give that details. Usually I use indigo blue to give my dark details and very less time I use black. Most of the time I'm using indigo blue and mixing it with some other color, like here I'm mixing it with a little bit of brown. To paint the eyes, you need to see the details, like where is a darker shade and where is the lighter shade, and just blend them together. Now to paint the ears, I'm using rose pink as the base, just very light wash of pink and blending it with the base color, adding some indigo blue and just blending all the colors together. Here you can see how the colors look in the ears. I'm just trying to give the similar effect to give that realistic giraffe look with watercolor painting. Now simply adding a darker tone of brown and just spreading it and blending it layer by layer. Now using same techniques, I will fill the other ear, making the outline first and then simply blending the color together with the base layer, experimenting with the light and dark, but just matching the colors to the original picture. Spread it and blend it all to make a nice shade of the ear. To paint this picture, I'm using my round brush from Princeton. I'm using round 12 number brush. Now I will drop some darker tone of browns, adding layers to my painting and making this pattern on the face of the giraffe. Just completing it all together to complete the face. I'm using Winsor & Newton professional paints. I'm mixing brown with ochre yellow and a little bit of red and pink. I mix all my colors together to get a different and unique shade. So basically you keep adding layers of colors when the base is dry and putting another layer of the color on top of it to get that realistic look of giraffe or any other animal you are painting. So when the base layers are dry, I'm adding more on top of the dried layer to give the darker look in the eyes, nose, like nostrils. And like this, I will keep adding more and more details, more and more layers. And here I'm using some reddish tone of loose wet wash on top of my dry paint to give a glazing effect. We call it as a glazing technique with watercolors. You can get a really nice shiny and glazing effect using this technique, and this is actually used to enhance the colors of the painting. Look here how I have enhanced the color of the base of my giraffe, the mouth and the nose and the body. I'm using it everywhere. Just loose and wet wash and applying the paint on top of my base layer. Now adding some colors to the nostrils of the giraffe. and giving the darker tones to give the depth to the painting and more realistic look to my giraffe. And there you have it, a realistic giraffe watercolor painting. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and learned how to paint a realistic watercolor giraffe. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials like this one. Thanks for watching.